I wanted to get to next. One of the things we're seeing, or we've really always seen since kind of the market, changes, is the consumer's unawareness, I guess you could say, of requirements of the property's condition, to qualify for a mortgage. And Randy, I know you were talking to us, before the break about your awesome inspirational story. But what are some maintenance tips people need to pay attention to so that they don't turn into home inspection issues, so that it doesn't cause the home to not qualify for a mortgage?
Well, especially in the fall, what people overlook a lot, and I see it all the time when I'm up on the roof, is cleaning their gutters.
That's a big one, yeah.
It is, because that causes backups and
Leaks.
a lot of those leaks at the roof line, and a lot of times those leaks occur and people don't realize it because it doesn't work all the way back into the home, so people don't really see it on their day-to-day living. It's not a leak that's happening over their living space, but it is eating away at the wood on the bottom edge of the roof, and causing a lot of damage that they just don't realize. And it's just so simple to get the gutters clean, especially in the fall. All the leaves are dropping. Well, I would say dropped if we were up north, but they're still dropping now for us here.
It's interesting, and I think a lot of times with the roof, we see buyers, I think, that maybe just aren't educated on the roofs, and there'll be a little leak and they'll want the whole roof replaced, and it's like, no, it doesn't. The roof is fine. It's not a whole roof replacement. But speaking of, so the roof cost is an issue, and that causes an issue with financing, right, guys? I mean, the roof is one of the biggest structures that mortgage lenders look at and say, if there are issues, then we're going to have issues. We may not get to the closing table. You guys have a new program that you guys love, and I think we're going to love too, that eliminates that challenge, or cure. I wouldn't say eliminates it, but helps cure that challenge.
Well, helps cure it. I mean, as a lender, we look at what type of health and safety issues are there when we are giving the money. And so if there's a health and safety issue, then that needs to be corrected. Those things need to be corrected before closing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if there's a safety, like a major obstacle, or the roof caved into the living room.
Right,
of course.
Yeah.
But we're talking maybe one of those scenarios where the roof is old and needs replaced.
Yeah. So like if you have like curling shingles, and the house is great, but you got curling shingles that are old, and it's going to be replaced pretty soon. We can, and a lot of times you buy, in this market, you buy a lot of times for the bank. Well, the bank doesn't want to do any repairs.
Right.
Or the seller doesn't want to do the repair unless they know, they're not sure you're going to close. You don't want to do the repair because you don't own the property. So you got you're in a conundrum there.
Right, especially when the house is over 30 years old. The insurance company is going to require a 4-point inspection,
and it's going to
everything's going to come out right there. It's going to have to give a
come
condition to the roof. And if you can't get homeowners insurance, obviously you're not going to.
You can't close without homeowners insurance.
Well, one of the things I really like about Buyer Protection Group, and we've had you on the show a lot of times to talk about this, is a lot of the home inspection companies don't do a 4-point. They do a regular home inspection, and if the insurance company comes back and says, "Oh, you need a 4-point," then you're going out there again. You guys knock that out. Again, it's an option for the consumer, but the point is that helps real estate agents and consumers with not having to jump through an extra hoop. You get that up front, which I think is a huge bonus for you guys that you guys do that, because not a lot of companies do it. So speaking of the condition ailments, what are some other things, from a condition ailment that causes properties not to qualify for a mortgage, or that could cause it to not qualify? We know the roof is a big one. The 4 points usually looking at roof, AC, electrical, plumbing. So those are kind of things that we know can hold up insurance and can cause issues. What are some other things you guys have seen from a property condition standpoint that could hold that process up?
We've seen broken windows, we've seen a green pool or an unfilled pool. Those are all things that have to be kind of cured beforehand, or with our Escrow holdback program. There's chipping paint for pre-1978 homes.
Yeah.
So just things like that.
And the chipping paint, which people don't understand what that is, that's basically a lead-based paint thing. So if there's chipping paint and it's an older home, then it's if your dog or your kid starts playing over with that, I mean that's toxic. Like that has to be fixed. We had one of those not long ago with a bungalow in Seminole Heights, and there was an issue with the chipping paint, and the consumer just, it's all paint over, and it's like, no, you have to understand, like if the bank loans on that, then somebody gets a hold of lead-based paint, they get sick, they die, it's turning into a big multi-million-dollar.
And the reality is, 1978, they've probably painted the home since.
Correct. But it's just
one of those things.
You never know.
It's all encapsulated inside, but if it's chipping, then those pieces that contain lead
can be one of those inner layers. Yeah, could be consumed by a dog, or a kid could be playing with it. So.
And Greg, actually a real live scenario that happened, and you deal with a lot of Fannie Mae foreclosures.
Sure.
And Fannie Mae is very inflexible when it comes to repairs, and they're not gonna do a lot with you, right, on that stuff, so.
Correct.
But yet the house needs to be fixed up for the lender to be able to get financing. Or there's stuff in it's a foreclosure, so the house has not been taken care of for a while. So, many buyers look at it and go, you know, I really don't wanna put my money out, or I really don't want to, you know, buy this house in this condition, or whatever the case may be. So, with the escrow holdback, we can cure that problem. We can take up to 10% of the value of the sales price. And if you have a seller that's willing to work with you, we can actually bump the price up
To cover it.
To cover it.
We're going to continue that conversation about the escrow holdback program, what it can mean for you if you're thinking about buying a home that needs repairs after a quick break here on the Duncan Duo Show.